What up, campers? We got another awesome camp cooking idea for you. This time, we're smoking a brisket on the Weber. I've been wanting to get a smoker for a long time, but I found this guy, Break It Yourself, on YouTube, who showed me how to do a brisket on the Weber using something called the snake method. I'm super pumped to have found this snake method because I have this old Weber grill that I got from my buddy who never used it. We've actually smoked a couple of briskets using this method and it comes out the bomb, and so I figured I would share it with you guys in case you were thinking about something to cook on your next big trip. A couple things you need, and then a couple that you might just want. One is some form of charcoal, whether you go lump or briquette. I'm doing a mix of both. You might just want to have is a smoker box thing so that you can get some wood chips in there to give you more of that kind of wood smoke flavor. And then obviously to go with that you need some wood chips, and so I usually soak these for about an hour. Just throw the chips in there nice and soaked, and then again it kicks up that smoke. Alright, so essentially the snake method is just an indirect way to cook a brisket. What you do is you basically put a ring of charcoal around the outside. You leave a gap so that it's basically like a semicircle. Start off by lighting just one lump or clump of coals, and then you set that on one end of the circle, and it basically acts as a fuse to burn all the way around the outside over a long period of time, so that only a couple of coals are ever burning at a time. But yeah, it just comes out really good, and so that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna set all the coals around the outside, then we're gonna go inside and get the meat ready. I did a brief preview of the snake method on one of our other videos. I'll flash that video up if you want to go check that one out, but that was just kind of a preview. I wanted to start doing more of these kind of one recipe videos to see if we can like go in depth about exactly how to cook stuff, and if you guys like those videos. Okay, so you first want to start with a little circle of coals like this. So you go, I don't know, what is that, like 7/8 of the way around. You do them kind of 2 by 2 all the way around the outside. And that is the snake. And then you would normally do, if you just have briquettes, you would do 2 rows of this. So you would stack another ring of briquettes going around the outside on top of this 2 by 2. So you have 2 high, 2 wide, all the way around. I'm gonna go ahead and put some mesquite lump on here as my second row. We didn't have enough mesquite. We're gonna throw a few more bricks. Alright, so that's the snake all laid out. Now what we're going to do is just start 4 or 5 coals, and then we're going to set it right down on this end and start the fuse, and then over the course of the next 10 hours or so, it will consume the whole snake. Alright, if you have a Weber, I highly recommend one of these things. It's like the little stovepipe top thing to get your coals going. Oh no, my lighter's dead. Does this remind you of anyone? Alright, let's go do the meat. Alright, so for the brisket, what I like to do is let it thaw out, or get to room temperature. But then I pat it all down with the paper towels just to get all that excess moisture out of there. And then I slap on my homemade rub that I like doing, which is just a very simple equal parts brown sugar, paprika, and salt, and then a half part of black pepper. And I stick that all over it, let it sit and kind of marinate that way for about a half hour. The one we're doing today started off as a 19-pounder. We cut it in half, so we got basically, I think, about 9-ish pounds going in today. We got about 10 people coming over, so let's do it. right, so it's all ready to go. We're gonna let that sit for about 30 minutes and then we're gonna go check on our coals and start the snake. That first little batch of coals looks like it's basically almost ready. So we're gonna get our wood chips together and then we're gonna start the snake. Alright, that's it. So the snake is started. It's gonna start up there and then it's just gonna burn, like I said, like a fuse. And we'll check back at 8 o'clock tonight. First, slap the meat on. The meat is on, but one thing that's both cool, really cool about the Weber, but also critical, is to use your airflow. That goes just in general when using a Weber, but you really can control how hot that snake gets now by adjusting the top and bottom air vent. So I'm gonna close mine down pretty good since we know those coals are going good, and just make sure that it continues to produce good smoke and doesn't kind of get too hot, because we don't want to cook, we want to smoke. So you can see it's already going a little bit too good here, too much heat. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna close this guy down to something like that, so you just have little like kind of eye holes for now, and then we'll just continue to monitor. What we're also gonna do is close these guys down here at the bottom about halfway. Alright, it's been about 7 hours. We got about an hour left, and then it should be ready to roll. Let's take a look. Ho, ho, ho. It's 170 degrees in there. So we got, yep, about an hour left. Starting to get some nice color on it. Almost there. Alright, it's that magical time. Let's get that meat off and see what it looks like. Alright, we're super happy. Snake method came out like a champ. Look at all those beautiful smoke rings and delicious meat. It's an easy way to grill, or it's an easy way to smoke when you don't have a $500 smoker. So pretty happy with the way that came out. Check it out. So hey, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. We will see you on the next adventure.